Shall we begin? Let's begin.
Let's get this thing in the water. Hello, and welcome to On the Patio with Mr. D. Hey, we've got a whole slew of product reviews and kayaking tips and tricks and photography uses on a kayak, and especially on an inflatable kayak. We're going to be reviewing all these different products and these different kayaks and where to go and what to do and how to play with them and all that kind of stuff like that. So, hey, we're going to get started here shortly, but before you do, please, if you like our videos, subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. So, hey, we'll be back in just a bit.
Let's begin.
What I want to do first is to talk about some of the accessories that Travel Country Outfitters did for me before I put in some of the other accessories. And they put in this great matting system here. I really like that. One of the things I asked Travel Country Outfitters to do was to install the rectangular hatch where the round hatch was, and then move the round hatch up forward, which you can see here. And it's really neat the way these things are all set up. It's a twist lock system. They got a nice weather seal right here. And it really works nice. Now I've got the buckets on order for the round hatch and the rectangular hatch. The rectangular hatch locks really nice, as you can see here. One of the things I wanted to do was to cover these holes. Now, as you've heard before, I don't fish, so I want to have these so they don't collect water. And one way to do that is with these Hobie rod covers. And I'm going to install them like right about here and just push them into place and estimate where I want to put the screw. I ordered some black, and they call them thrust head screws, which are self-tapping. They're 3/4 inch, and basically I'm going to take this screw here and pop it right in there. So what I'm going to do is I ran a small pilot hole and added a little dab of silicone here. Now I'm going to take my drill with the Phillips screw on it and set it on a very, very low torque. Line up that pilot hole. And that one's done. It's just that simple. Going to do the other side, so hey, we'll be back in just a couple minutes. The finished task itself looks like this. Now if you notice where these screws are all hidden, it really looks nice, really clean. So this install is done. Well guys, I'm still waiting for parts for my Hobie Compass. I'm still waiting for the map pockets and stuff like that. So I wanted to do something a little bit different. I want to put the name of my organization, which is Paddling Places Florida. I wanted to put it on the boat. So I ordered some vinyl lettering from this company, and the only difference is I want to do shadow letters. And to do that, you literally have to order it twice. You're going to lay this thing out, put that one down, then you're going to lay the other verbiage right up on top of that and just get your shadow where you want it. It's going to be a little tricky. Now one thing I noticed right away, this vendor, his alignment's off. So I'm going to have to do this in pieces now. So after you give it a isopropyl alcohol bath, and fortunately the Hobie Compass, this area up here is already smooth. So that's going to make it really easy to lay this stuff down. So I'll actually be doing this in 3 stages. The only tools you're going to need to do this is the isopropyl alcohol a credit card to lay the thing down. So the first thing I want to do is get my alignment where I want it. This is where paddling is, and I want it high because on the second set of verbiage, I'm going to lay it to where the shadow is like that. So I want to get the paddling put on first, and then I'm going to do it actually in stages. I think it's going to be a lot easier. Plus, there's a slight curvature in this boat. So I want to make sure that this line up here is maintained, and then it should work out really well. So the first thing you got to do is you got to flip this backing and take it off. Okay. Now I want to take this, ease it off. The only thing bad about these kind of projects, you got one shot at it and that's it. As you already see that tape let go, so I want to make sure it's realigned where I want it. Just like that. Lay this down just like this. Okay, now, using a credit card, I want to get all the air bubbles out of it. So I'll be kind of just pushing it down and getting it where everything is. Now I'm going to go in, and where the lettering is, I want to make sure there's no gaps in there. So I'm just going over it with my finger. Now I'm also doing this on a warm day to make this stuff a little bit more pliable. I wouldn't recommend doing this on a cold day. Now, the truth's in the pudding here. Now I'm going to take this, take off this tape, and hopefully this will work the way I want it to work. And so far, so good. Take off that other piece of tape. And there we go. Now if you notice that's really dark, well, that's on purpose. Because the next thing I'm going to do is put the white piece on. And I'm actually going to do this in stages here. So I'm going to take paddling now, cut it, and see how that lines up. Is get this to where it just shadows down about like that. So this is going to be a little bit tricky to get this where I want it. So unfortunately, their backing isn't clear. So this is where it's going to get a little bit testy here. So I'm just going to pull back a little bit of this and align, because once I get it aligned, I should be okay. The shadow is very faint, but it gives me the effect that I was trying to get. Kind of messed up on the P a little bit, but I don't think it's going to be seen. Got paddling done, so the next thing to do is places. I just finished up the non-functional modification, something I wanted to do, and basically is putting my paddling places Florida signature on the boat, and I wanted to do it with drop shadow, which it worked out actually pretty good. Hey guys, today we're going to talk to you about a pocket system that I got from Wilderness Systems. It's the 4-pocket system. It's a mesh pocket system. It's 16 inches long by 8 inches. It has 4 individual pockets in it. Now, to hook this thing up is really simple. You find the location where you want to hook it up. And in this case, I got to double wrap it Now I just pull this, get some stretch on this thing, pop it over the ball, just like that. Now for the bottom one, I went down in between the seat here, went up one pull, and there you go. That looks pretty cool. It works well. It's definitely solid. It can hold camera batteries, small items, water bottle. But small items, those little things that kind of roll around in your kayak and you just want to be able to get access to them. For you fishermen out there, it could be a special lure. 2 of these pockets have a locking system, which they're bungee with a plastic lock, and they're really easy to latch up, just like that. And then you're all set. So hey, the rest of my equipment is in FedEx shipping right now, and that will finish off the boat is the hookless mesh pads and the rectangular bucket and the circular round bucket for the hatches, and then this boat will be done and ready to go in the water. So we'll see you later. Hey guys, today we got all the balance of my parts in for the Hobie Compass. So we're going to be wrapping up all the customizations today, finally. Today we got the Hobie hookless map mesh pockets. They came in today. Going to show you how to install them. The only tools you're really going to need is a small bit to run the pilot holes for your self-tapping screws. A rule, you don't need that, but I do. I get a little anal. A power screwdriver and drill combination, blue tape, and a magic marker. And that's basically all you're going to need. What we're going to do is show you how I'm going to do this and explain it as we go. So one of the first things I did is found the center point of the map pocket and lined it up with the center point right here. And then I took my Sharpie pen in the first 2 holes and marked that, and I taped this to keep it into place because these map pockets, they flex a lot. So when I put in the bottom section, I'm actually going to raise this up just a little bit and get it straight and get those all put in. But I'm going to do the corner ones first and then get that going. So the first thing you want to do is punch in the 2 pilot holes. Okay, I've already got them marked. You can see here. There's your mark. And actually what I'm going to do is flip this up out of the way and go ahead and drill those 2 holes. I'm going to do this with a slow bit so I'm not going real fast, because I want it to line up perfectly. That's that one. Oh, and I forgot to mention, you want to get some silicone also with this. I'm going to put a dab of silicone on each one of these holes. So I'm going to take very, very small dabs of silicone, and I mean just a small dab. Covered that one and covered that one. Now you may elect not to do that, and that's okay. Now the next thing, I want to put the Phillips screw head into my drill and set this on a very, very low torque, like 2 or 3. Then grab 2 of my self-tapping screws here, and the first one, we know we got the hole all lined up, so we're just going to find it. There it is right there. And then basically just ease that screw in. And I don't want to twist that rubber. Now, on the other side, I'll get the other one put in. And then the hard part comes, and that's getting these to line up the way we want them to line up. I'll find in the pilot hole. I've done that, got the pilot hole. And again, going very slow, very little pressure. Let the self-tap do its thing. And there we go. And we've got the first part of this done. Don't need the tape anymore. So I'm going to remove the tape. Now the hard part is coming. And that's where we get this to pooch up so it looks like that. And that's where I want to go, to where it's up, out of the way, and flush down. So that's what we're going to do, using the same process, using the marking pen. So what I want to do is make sure that this corner is flat, and I want to go right there. That's pilot holes for that one. And pilot hole for that one. Again, I'm going to repeat the same process. I'm just going to lift the pocket up, or that hole's drilled, and that hole's drilled. Same process. Take some silicone, put it up over the hole. Okay, and okay, and now I'm going to repeat the same process. What I want to do is get the four corners all in before I add the balance of them, and it's not going to be all the way around. Same process as before. Just don't tighten that down all the way. Get yourself a small Phillips screwdriver. What I recommend you do is don't screw that in all the way. Just get it to where it's like this, and then line it up. And that's another good reason for the silicones. You can see that rubber pocket's gonna twist. So there you go. Next step is doing the same thing over here. Finding the pilot hole. Now get this started and then finish it with the screwdriver. Okay, that's all started. Now again, all I'm going to do is finish this. And there we go. Now, one thing I got to do now is just kind of, I'm going to probably put one here and put one here. One here and one here. So look at that. Probably overkill, but I don't want stuff falling out of it. So let me find a good spot for this one. Now, being the pocket's already set up, I want to put one right here. And I'm going to put one, use the same hole. So I want number 3 here. Okay, same process. Grab some silicone, walk those in real quiet like. Be real careful when you do that. There's the pilot hole right there. Okay, again, not all the way tight. Do that with your Phillips when you go in. But we're almost done with this project. Okay, now again, just get this where you want it. Okay, back that one out just a bit. Okay, now we only got the bottom row to do. As you can see, this will hold well. Now I just want to get this to where it's pooched up. Let me show you what I'm talking about here. What I'm trying to do here is to get this part of the pocket to come up like that, so it gives me a nice little lift. And I'll probably use, it looks like 2 2 screws they have spots for. So I'll use the marker system again. One right there. Okay, and make sure that stays there. And the last one will be right here. We are almost done with this side of the install. Now, this time I'm going to go ahead and just drill them and put them in, because you've already seen me do that. So. If you notice the bellow here, this is what I wanted to do, so when I put stuff in this, it's going to be nice, and there you go. But we're going to repeat the exact same process. The only thing I wanted to show you was I measured from the seat, rear seat mount, the one at the front, like this, and it's 12 1/8. So I'm going to do the same thing here and make it 12 1/8. That'll make these pockets line up exactly the same. That's the reason for the ruler. So hey guys, we'll be back when we wrap this up, and we'll show you the rest of the stuff, and the customization is done. Okay, to recap everything, today I got the balance of the parts I've been waiting for and installed the map pockets on each side. Also what came in today was the deep bucket. And that's pretty cool, the way that all works out here. It just drops in there, lines up on that little shelf. And the final thing I was waiting on was the deep bucket for the forward hatch. I call it the Tupperware bucket. Comes with its own lid. I'll probably not use the lid, I'll just use it like this, but I'm not sure yet. One thing I like about this rudder system is that it's recessed into the boat, and you have a cord to release it, and down it'll come. And a great thing is if you hit any obstruction while you're in the water, this thing will go up, and it doesn't take a lot of pressure to move this. So of course you're going to score it a little bit with use, but all in all it's really cool. The turning response on this is so responsive, it's unbelievable. And then to bring it back up, just give the cord up front, give it a good pull, and up she goes, locks into place. When you come in for the day, you just pull it out, and then when you're getting ready to travel, you put in your plug, lock it into place, and there you go. I did add the scupper plug underneath the seat, and I added the aft scupper plugs. Now we're going to talk about mounting the seat. There's a right way and a wrong way. And the first day I took it out, I did it the wrong way. I took these side strap mounts and I hooked them to the side of the seat. You can see what's going to happen when you're paddling. Even if you hook this here, which is what I had done, I had hooked it like that. And when I was paddling, the seat was rocking back and forth. So there's a right way and a wrong way, guys. And let me show you the right way. I learned the hard way. What you do is you place your seat over the mounts, unclip that, you'll see a clip right here. Take that, lock it into place, go to the other side, do the same thing. Take your bungee, has a finger ring on it, drop that to the loop in the seat. Same thing with the other side, and your seat is going to be rock solid. So lock your paddle in place here, and I always recommend that you have a paddle leash and just clip that on the back side of your boat on one of these clips. That way, if you do lose your paddle out there, this thing's going to keep it secured for you. You can get clip-on accessories for this if you want to. But I decided not to do that. I want to add one more thing, and you need to do this, guys. If you want to keep your kayaks up to speed, and you know the sun is brutal on these things, and it will just tear them up. One of the things that I use is the 303 aerospace protectant. This is the marine version, and I spray the kayak on top, on the sides, on the bottom, the whole nine. You apply it with a microfiber cloth, and then wipe it off with a nice heavy-duty clean microfiber cloth. You do this about every 3 to 5 weeks, depending on exposure to the sun. These are in the garage, so I can go a little bit longer, but I'm in Florida sun, and that sun gets nasty out here. And for those of you who store your kayaks uncovered in the back, you're really busting down the material of that, making it brittle. And this will really help you preserve your kayaks for, hey, many, 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 many years to come. So let's get on to the finals here, and we'll be back in a bit. Well, guys, all the modifications are done. Now the next thing is to get this bad boy in the water. And on part 3 of this video will be the on-water field test. So, hey, we'll see you out there.